Hi, Art Seekers. We have a really amazing, exciting interview today. We are here with bErto, who is New York based and in LA to do this project that we actually get to see in one of its early stages, which is really exciting. And right now you can't tell, but we are up very high in a crane, and I'm super excited about it. So thank you so much.
It's funny to see you glow from going so high up in a crane. You're like a little kid.
I know, I'm like, woohoo, heights. Is it different finding locations in New York than in LA?
LA's easier. They're much more tolerant of it. And New York, everything's owned by commercial developers. So it's hard to get up to the higher ranks of who's controlling all the real estate. It's more kamikaze graffiti stuff in New York if you're going to do something.
Right.
Unless you get lucky.
So have you done a lot of unsanctioned work?
Yeah. You kind of have to when you start out, so you get your reputation built a bit.
Sure. Those you probably don't sign.
Huh?
Oh, those you probably don't sign.
No, yeah, you do. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I spent the winter last year in Sydney and did a lot of uncommissioned work. So
Such a rebel. Have you had any run-ins with law enforcement?
when I was a kid, but we get permission now. So, but no, I never. When I was a kid, we used to bomb. We used to get in a little bit of trouble, but nothing too bad. I mean, it's a passionate thing. It's an addictive state. Like I surf, and surfing used to be like the all, but now actually painting's taken the number one. I prefer to paint than go for a surf. So it's an addictive. It's all of this is just it's an bit of adrenaline push.
Well, your work incorporates so many waves, and even the signature prismatic style, it kind of undulates and flows, and so it really seems like you have elements of the ocean in your style, so you get both surfing and painting.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up fishing and like surfing and just kind of being a water baby and having a mother and a father that embraced the beach lifestyle. So I think as the works progressed, like keeping vibrant colors, and it keeps it energizes people when they look at it, and people can relate. Everyone, when they think of the beach, it's a positive thought and something that it always makes me happy to think of. So the works kind of incorporates that, and it's just progressed over the years to turn into something that I wasn't really expecting. When you do really big walls, painting by hand, it can start to be pretty gruesome on you physically.
Mm-hmm.
So I've switched to faster painting with using new types of tools, and being more abstract. I think the work's going towards a more abstract with a base medium being black. So lots of color and black dominate it, kind of, because color can be a bit overwhelming, but black can neutralize it a little bit. So black's always my final layer. So it's stages of layering. This is 9 layers. This is only the first layer that you see. So that's the funny thing. When people look at it, I get a little self-conscious because it's not finished, and people see it the way it is, and it's kind of, for me, like it's very raw, so it makes me a little insecure. Once it's done, I'm happy and I walk away. That's the best things when you leave it somewhere. You get to leave these things, and forever or until someone else paints over it, people get to enjoy it.
How did you start to see the street as your canvas?
Well, I grew up in a place in Miami that was pretty street, pretty blue collar, and pretty kind of a tough neighborhood. And I don't know, I've always was that kid riding around on like a BMX bike and climbing trees with my buddies, or like getting into mischief as a child. And growing up as a surfer, you kind of outcast yourself, not on purpose, but naturally, because surfing's a pretty selfish sport, I guess. And I don't know, living in New York, living in LA, living in areas that were predominantly poor, just because there's more space for a studio or there's cheaper rent, and surviving. I've always been pretty on the pulse with the cities between LA, New York, London, and I think it's a good place to paint. There's everywhere I look, I see all these walls, and I just envision work on them. I think it's a good thing. I think it brightens up the world that we live in such a crazy world. Like, we need as much good energy as possible. Ties everyone together too. Everyone gets so involved. Like, just sitting here for a week and doing this, like, be amazed the conversations you have with these wonderful people that live around here that you would never talk to, and they're so like captivated by the work, and that's a pretty touching thing.
And it's such a special experience to see it in the process of creation.
Yeah.
So it's really neat that a lot of people have come up.
Because a lot of people don't get to see that usually. They just see the final product at a gallery. So they get to kind of be a part of, the process.
Has anyone said anything really amazing about your work or interpreted it in a way that you liked?
Some guy yesterday, some old guy came by and said I was terrible. Said I was a terrible artist.
What?
It really hurt my feelings too, but it's okay. You know, they take them right to the heart sometimes. But no, people are really, generally really kind and wonderful and receptive. So.
And what messages do you want or do you hope people will leave your work having gotten?
I think the main influence is just, I sign and love bErto because I think they bring a lot of happy, good feeling love and energy to people. I think that's what it's all about, and getting along with each other in relationships and friends. It's all about just good, positive, loving energy, So I think that's pretty much the message. Make it happy.